Dear students, I hope you are all well by the grace of Almighty God. So, welcome to the class. So, let's see what is the topic of today's class. So, the topic of the today's class is on Chapter 6, Section 1, Honesty. So, in the last two classes, I discussed about the story, and in the last class, I discussed the fill in the blanks, matching column, multiple choice, and the short questions. And I told you to learn the lessons at home. I hope you all learn the lessons at home. So today I will discuss the broad questions from page 41, number 5, from A to D, A, B, C and D. So before going to discuss the question answer, we need to discuss the previous lesson about the story. So do you remember the story about? So the story was about the woodcutter and the water goddess. So there was a very poor woodcutter who used to cut wood from the forest on the bank of a river. The forest was on the bank of a river. So he was very poor and he had only an iron axe, and by the axe he used to cut wood, and by selling the wood he maintained his family. So while cutting the wood, the woodcutter just lost his axe, or the axe fell into the river. So while he was very sad and crying, the water goddess just came up, and she had given a silver axe in the first time, and when the woodcutter refused to take the silver axe because the axe was not him, the water goddess dived again into the deep water and just bought a golden axe, and the woodcutter refused to take the golden axe also because the golden axe was not him. And by the truthfulness of the woodcutter, the water goddess was very pleased, and for that reason the water goddess gave the 3 axes, which is made of silver, gold and iron, to the woodcutter. So it is all about honesty. So because of his honest act, the water goddess was very happy, and for that reason she had given the 3 axes to the woodcutter. And after then the woodcutter was no more in want. So what was the moral of the story? In the last class I discussed that honesty is the best policy, and it is a moral virtue and the part of religion. So we should be honest. So what is the definition? Students, can you remember what is the definition of honesty? Honesty means always speaking the truth and living an honest life. So let's see the question answer. So which one is the first question? The first question is what is the necessary of honesty? Why necessity is very much necessary? So see here, honesty means always speaking the truth and living an honest life. Honesty is very necessary because honest people are loved and respected by all. The deities, that means God and Goddess, also love honesty. So honesty is a part of religion and moral virtue. So you know why honesty is very necessary in our life. So those were the dishonest people are always hated by the people, and the deities or the God and Goddess don't love the dishonest people, those who are lying and doing bad things and taking something from others without any permission. So honest means always speaking the truth. So those who were speaking the truth always, they are loved and respected by the people surrounding him. He is living in the society, and society people, those who are living in the society with him, they also love him, and he is honored by others. And the God and Goddess also love the honest person who is very very much honest. So honesty is necessary because honest people are loved and respected by all. Loved and respected by all. The deities, that mean God and Goddess, also love honesty. So honesty is a part of religion. Remember that the honesty is a part of religion and moral virtue. So and we know also, in our religion or religious point of view, there is a life after our death. There is a life after our death, and whatever we are doing, good or bad, it is counted by Almighty. He is watching all the things, whatever we are doing. So for that reason we must be very careful, because if we are not honest, that means we are dishonest and we are doing bad things, and we are not speaking the truth, then we will be punished by the Almighty after our death, and also in our lifetime. So for that reason, to be honest is very necessary. So if you are honest, you will be rewarded in the lifetime and also after death. So you will get to the heaven. So for that reason, honesty is necessary. So see the next question. So how did the woodcutter lose his axe? So I just narrated the story in the beginning of the class, that how did the woodcutter lose his axe. So there was a woodcutter in a village. He had an iron axe by which he used to cut wood. One day, while he was cutting wood on the bank of the river, all on a sudden the woodcutter's axe fell into the river, and thus he lost his axe. So the question is, how did the woodcutter lose his axe? How did the woodcutter lose his axe? So there was a woodcutter in the village. He was living with his families and family members, and he was very poor, very much poor. He was living in poverty. So by cutting the wood from the forest, and the forest was on the river bank, he used to cut wood from the forest, and by selling the wood he maintained his family. So one day while he was cutting wood from the forest, all on a sudden the woodcutter's axe just fell into the river. So thus he lost his axe. That means by this way the woodcutter lost his axe. You know that, you read it in the textbook, and I discussed in the last classes, and today in the beginning of the class I also discussed the fact and how and the woodcutter just lost his axe. Let's see the next question, number 3. So what did water goddess do after losing the woodcutter his axe? So you know better, and I just narrated the story in the beginning. When he lost his axe, he was crying and he was very sad, and by this the water goddess came up from the river, and she dived into the river. In the first time the water goddess brought a silver axe, and when the woodcutter said that the axe was not him, then the water goddess dived again into the deep of the water and brought an golden axe. And the woodcutter refused to take the golden axe also, because the axe was not him. His axe was made of iron. So the water goddess was very much pleased by the deed of the woodcutter or by the honesty of the woodcutter. For that reason, the water goddess had given the 3 axes to him. So it is all about honesty. So what did water goddess do after losing the woodcutter his axe? So let's see the answer. After losing the woodcutter his axe, after losing the woodcutter his axe, the water goddess came up and firstly she had given the silver axe. Secondly, she had given the golden axe. And thirdly, she had given his actual iron made axe. The woodcutter, the water goddess was pleased with the woodcutter's honesty. For that reason, she had given 3 eggs to the woodcutter. So I told you that firstly, when the water goddess gave the silver axe to the woodcutter, he refused to take it. And the second time she had given the golden axe, the woodcutter refused it again, or refused to take the golden axe, because the actual axe of the woodcutter was made of iron. So by this work or by this deed, he showed honesty. He showed honesty, and he was rewarded. See here, he was rewarded. How he was rewarded? Rewarded by the 3 eggs. Though the woodcutter's actual axe was made of iron, but by his honesty, the water goddess was very much pleased, and for that reason, she had given the silver and the golden axe to the woodcutter. So it is the reward that he was honest, and for that reason, the water goddess had given the silver and the golden axe to the woodcutter. So honesty will be rewarded. Honesty will be rewarded. So honesty will be rewarded in the lifetime and after the death also. So for that reason, honesty is part of religion. So let's see the next question. So what is the next question? What is the next question? Honesty is the part of religion. Honesty is the part of religion. Explain. So the answer is, gods are pleased with the honest people for their honesty. Gods are pleased with the honest people for their honesty. So honest people are liked and respected by all. Honest people are liked and respected by all. So honesty is a moral virtue. Moral virtue is a moral quality. In the religious scriptures, it is told to be honest and to do honest work. Those who are not honest, they will be punished and sent to hell. For that reason, honesty is a part of religion. So you know, you are grown up and know that there is hell and heaven. So those who are not honest, doing bad things, those who are not good, very bad, they will be sent to hell after their death, and they will not get any reward, and they will get punishment in the lifetime and after the death also. But those who are very much honest, who are living honest life and telling speaking truth all the time, and they will be rewarded. And you just you have an example about that the deities love the honest person, and the god and goddess also love the honest person. He will be rewarded in his lifetime, his or her lifetime, and he will be rewarded after his death. So those who are sinners, those who are not doing good things, and those who are not honest, they will be sent to hell, and their punishment is always waiting for him or her. And those who are honest, speaking the truth, they will be sent to the heaven. So there is no punishment. Whatever you want or wish, you will get there. So this is the reward. This is the reward. And we the Hindus believe in rebirth. So if you are not honest, you will take birth again and again as the shape of animals. So if you are not doing sin or bad work, and if you are honest, then you will send to the heaven. So for that reason, honesty is part of religion. Why? It is mentioned in the religious scriptures like Ved, Ramayana or Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Mahabharata. In every religious scripture of Hindus, it is mentioned that be honest, do honest work, do good to others, do good to others. If you will not do good to others and you are not honest and dishonest and you are lying, then you will be sent to hell and punishment is waiting for you. So students, that's all for today, and by discussing the question answer from page 41 5 A B C D, we are just closing the chapter, the section. In the next class I'll discuss about truthfulness, section 2 from chapter 6, and then in the next class I will discuss another story about truthfulness. So I discussed today the question answer from 6 A B C D. So you must learn the lesson. I told you in the previous classes that I am just solving the question answer, but if you have any idea, then you can write your own answer. It is not mandatory that you need to or you must learn the answers made by me. You can make your own answer by taking your parents, by taking the help of your parents or your teachers, or it is best that read the textbook and follow the question and try to make the answer by yourself. So it is not totally not mandatory to learn the answers whatever we are making. So make your own answer, or if you want to learn or memorize the answer, then you can. So that's all for today. See you in the next class. Till then, stay calm and quiet at home and follow the health issues. See you in the next class. Bye bye. Take care.